She is there when you wake up. She is there when you walk to the kitchen. She is there when you sit down. She is there when you stand up. She is there when you enter a room that you have not announced that you are entering. And she is there outside the bathroom door every single time. If you have shared your life with a senior dog, then you know this. You know this without having to explain it. The shadow that is always your shadow, the eyes that follow you throughout the house, with a focus that is unnerving in almost any other context, and yet, with her, seems as natural as breathing. Dog owners have a name for this. They call it Velcro dog behavior. The dog that sticks, the dog that will not let you leave the frame, the dog that is yours. And when that dog is a senior, grey at the muzzle, slowing down, it is as if it is even more pronounced. The following is even more deliberate. The watching is even more constant. The need to know where you are is even more imperative. Most read it as anxiety. Some read it as neediness. A few, burdened by the guilt that comes of loving an older creature, read it as desperation. The sense that she knows something that she is trying to tell you, something about time. All of these things have some of the truth, none of them have the whole. The whole is older than anxiety, older than neediness, older than desperation. The whole is older than any word we have been able to come up with to describe the inner life of another kind. The whole is part of the genome of every living dog. Welcome to the Wise Claw. Tonight, we follow her eyes back to their source. To understand why your older dog is watching your every move, we must start not in your living room, but in a world that no longer is. 14,000 years ago, the edge of human habit, fire, the smell of food and smoke, and at the edge of that fire, a dog. Not yet fully domesticated, but fully committed to this experiment of living alongside another kind. She observes. She observes before she eats. She observes before she sleeps. She observes. She reads the posture of the humans. She follows the direction of their gaze. She gets information from every change in their body and face, not because she was taught to, because the individuals who did this, who observed the humans most, who detected potential threats earliest, and who understood the mood of the group before the storm hit, were the individuals who survived, who ate, who stayed warm, who propagated offspring with the same capacity. Evolution built a surveillance system into the canine nervous system, not threatening, protective. The dog who knows where you are is safe. The dog who does not know where you are is alone. And alone in the world meant vulnerable, meant cold, meant exposure, and exposure meant death. This is the origin of the gaze of your old dog. Not anxiety, not pathology. 15,000 years of survival intelligence, still hardwired, still running in the body of an animal that loves you. But why does this phenomenon increase with age? The simple fact is that as dogs age, they go through a variety of neurological and sensory changes. Their processing speed slows, their working memory becomes unreliable. Spatial navigation becomes more difficult. The ability to build and maintain a clear and accurate spatial map of the world becomes more difficult than it once was. The world becomes more difficult to read. Sounds that once provided clear and useful information become fuzzy. Smells that once came to the dog in clear and distinguishable streams become fuzzy. Low-light vision becomes less clear. The sensory map that the older dog once read with confidence begins to lose definition at the edges. And what does the nervous system do when its main source of information becomes unreliable? It reverts to its most fundamental source of information. It reverts to its most primal strategy. It finds the safe person, it does not let them out of its sight. This is the behavioral neuroscience of Velcro behavior in senior dogs, not clinical separation anxiety, although it may look similar. The intensification of the proximity maintenance system, one of the most ancient and hardwired behavioral systems of the mammalian nervous system. Proximity maintenance is what it sounds like. It is a biological imperative to be close to the one most likely to provide for survival. As the world gets harder to read, you get easier to read than the world. You are her clearest signal in an increasingly complex world. There is a mechanism to understand here, and it changes everything. The canine nervous system is a predictive machine. It does not take in information and react to it. It constantly predicts what is going to happen and compares it to what does happen. Predictions that come to pass are safety. Predictions that fail to come to pass are threat. This system works well in a young dog. She can predict where you are based on the sound of your feet, your schedule, and your patterns of movement. She can tell if you're going to the kitchen or to the front door based on the creak of a particular board. Her brain is constantly and correctly modeling you. Her brain is calm because of this. In an older dog, this system is no longer working as well. The sensory inputs that inform her predictions are no longer clear. She may not be able to clearly hear your feet. She may not be able to smell you and thus know that you are in a particular room. Her brain is still working. It never stops. The problem is that it is working with bad information. The best that her nervous system can do is to fall back on the most efficient system of perception, direct perception. Keep her in the frame. Your older dog is probably following you everywhere because of this. This is closely related to what attachment theorists term the safe haven response. The attachment figure has two related but distinguishable roles in attachment theory. The first is the secure base, the stable anchor point from which the attached person explores the world. The second is the safe haven, the source to which the attached person turns when threatened, uncertain, or confused. For human babies, this changes over time. The very young human infant clings close to their attachment figure and needs constant proximity. The older human infant becomes more confident and ventures further and further away from their attachment figure. The older infant uses their attachment figure as a reference point, but no longer as a constant companion. The older dog reverts to the use of her owner as a safe haven. She needs more proximity. She needs more direct confirmation of her attachment figure's presence. This is not regression. It is her nervous system adapting and readjusting its balance of exploration and proximity seeking according to its assessment of danger. When your dog looks at you, oxytocin is released in her brain. And when you look back at your dog, oxytocin is released in your brain. This circular feedback relationship, studied by Takefumi Kikusui at Azabu University and published in the journal Science in 2015, is a feedback loop of bonding between species initiated by nothing more complex or mysterious than eye contact between two beings, each of which has in some way chosen the other. In your older dog, this system is hardwired and going at maximum speed. In fact, there's reason to believe that the oxytocin bonding system in older animals may be more, not less, active than in younger animals. Long-term bonds, built up over years of shared experience, are neurochemically more complex, more deep-seated than new bonds. The neural pathways are more set. The system is more readily triggered. The bond, in the most literal biological sense, is stronger. Every time she watches you cross the room, she's not only gathering safety information, she's bonding with you. Every time you look at her, you're releasing oxytocin. The watching is the bonding. The oxytocin is the watching. The 15,000-year bond is happening. Research by Anne-Sophie Sundman and colleagues from Linköping University, published in 2019, revealed that dogs and their owners synchronize long-term cortisol levels. In other words, dogs mirror their owner's stress in their own stress hormones. The synchronization is most pronounced in dogs that direct most of their attention to their owners. A Velcro dog is a very synchronized dog. If you are calm, her stress hormone levels are lower. If you are anxious, her stress hormone levels are higher. Your presence provides her autonomic nervous system access to your regulatory influence at all times. Your presence is not just comforting, it is, in the most literal sense of the words, medicine. Your presence is the most reliable anxiolytic her nervous system can utilize. She learned that fact not from a book or a trainer. She learned it from 15,000 years of evolution that encoded precisely that response into precisely that relationship. Now, most frequently, owners ask themselves that question. Is this healthy? Should I worry? Should I train her to be more independent? The answer from behavioral neuroscience is very clear. In virtually all cases, proximity seeking in older dogs is not a clinical issue. It is a normal, adaptive, neurobiologically appropriate response to normal sensory and cognitive changes of aging. The key difference is very simple. If she is seeking proximity for regulation, she follows, settles, relaxes in your presence, then that is Velcro behavior. Ancient, normal, in many ways beautiful. If she is seeking proximity in a state of panic, she cannot settle in your presence. She is vocalizing constantly. She is exhibiting physiological stress when separated from you. Then that is a clinical case of separation anxiety, and that is a case for a veterinarian. If she is following you and settling down calmly at your feet, that is not a problem. That is a bond doing what it was meant to do. If there is a sudden increase in following behavior, accompanied by confusion, disrupted sleep cycles, or house soiling, then a phone call to your veterinarian is in order. You have probably found this a little inconvenient. The bathroom most often, the kitchen, close behind, the way she is already there when you come home, the way she positions herself so she can see you, see the door, the way she looks at you even when she does not move, that careful, economical stillness, the way she misses nothing. You have probably felt, if you are honest, both touched and a little suffocated, wondered if you were doing something wrong, wondered if she were happy, wondered if this level of attention was something you were supposed to make better. Here is a different way of thinking about it. She does not look at you because she has nothing else to look at. She looks at you because after 15,000 years of learning the world, she has concluded, neurologically, correctly, that you are the most important thing in it. You are not her consolation prize. You are her primary reality, the anchor upon which everything else hinges, the signal which is clearer than all other signals in a nervous system working harder than it ever used to in order to make sense of the world. She is watching you cross the room and she is not desperate. She is paying attention. And there is a difference which matters. Desperate minds watch because they fear. Attentive minds watch because they value. A dog who has spent years choosing you, who carries your cortisol signature in her own stress hormones, who carries your voice signature in the deepest recesses of her emotional memory. That dog is not desperate. She is paying attention to the most important thing she knows. This is the wise claw. The meeting point of the science of your senior dog's mind and the relationship you have built with them over the years. Has this changed the way you think about the shadow behind you? Like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who is followed everywhere by an old dog and never really understood the point of it all. Until then, let her follow, let her watch. She earned this. You earned this.